Hello, everyone. Welcome to our writing live stream. And we already have so many friends with us. Oh my goodness. So Tia's here, Margot's here, Erin is here, Beth, Saoirse, Rin. Oh my gosh. You've done 3,000 today and you're going for 5,000 words. Okay, that's amazing. Okay. Oh my gosh. You need a good chat today. Okay, yeah, we are going to chat. It's going to be great. Oh, Tia, thank you. I know. It's really surreal. I'm at 800 subscribers. I'm like, what? Okay, Ian's here. Dami, hello. And Anna. Holly, hello. Ash is here. Oh, we have so many friends. Emily, hello. Oh my gosh. So many good friends. Okay, we're going to get some good writing done. Okay, but before we jump in and start chatting, we're just going to do some quick introductions. My name is Joy. You're on my channel, Write with Joy. And today I'm going to be working on Project Phoenix because I just started the second draft, which is crazy. I just finished the read through of the first draft, and now I'm actually officially starting revisions. So yeah, we're gonna be in chapter 1. It's gonna be crazy. Oh, Ari's here as well. Hello. Oh my gosh, so fun. But okay, Hannah, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Hannah. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram for HGF Writes. Today I'm going to be working on Project AOS. It's my YA religious fantasy / science fiction novel, and I am in the revision stages, so draft 2. And we are struggling, but we are getting there. We're going to try to do at least half a chapter in this stream, if not more. We'll see.
Very good, very good.
Okay, I'm Evelyn. Sorry, I have major stage fright almost right now. I don't know why.
You're totally fine.
I'll power through, but yeah. So my name's Evelyn. I have a channel on YouTube. You can find me at Evelyn Black. I think it's at Evelyn Black 394 or something like that. And I'm somewhat newer to AuthorTube, but easing my way in with the help of my new buddies here, Joy and Hannah. And I am writing my first book, and I'm calling it an epic romantic fantasy. I don't know if that is accurate or exists out there as an actual genre, but that's what I'm calling it. And
I like it.
Thank you. And it's called Project Bosses, and I'm sitting at about 35,000 words right now, so I'm still early in the process, but I'm hitting the meat of the story, so things are finally picking up steam, and I'm getting to the more interesting part of the book that I'm more excited to work on. So I'm at a good spot, I think.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. Okay, and we have a few more friends, Christina, Miley, and Stu. Hello. We love you guys. Okay, so if any of you guys in the chat, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them, and we'll have a little chat time, maybe 20 minutes or so before we jump into the first sprint. But also let me know what you guys are working on in the chat, because I want to know what you're gonna do. I mean, you could write, or if you want to be productive, or if you're just chilling in here for the vibes in the chat, that's fine too. But just let us know what you're doing.
All the details.
Yes, exactly. But really quick, Evelyn, so are you, because I just don't know a whole lot about your project yet. We just met recently. But tell me more about, so it's epic romantic fantasy. You're 35,000 words in. Do you have it the whole thing outlined, or are you more discovery writing?
Oh, girl, I have a thorough outline. And
okay, honestly, love it.
And honestly, based on what I've seen on AuthorTube, I feel like it could be called a zero draft, probably. I did the math one time on one of Cody's streams, and just the outline alone is sitting at over 20,000 cells. And then I also have a character sheet, and then I have a world building sheet, and then I have a to be addressed sheet for any plot holes that I've noticed as I was outlining. And I literally gray out each row as I address it. So I would say I probably have a zero draft done, and this is probably more of a first draft.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know every single chapter. I have it color coded by POV.
Oh my gosh.
And broken down into 1,000-word bites, for each chapter. So I know exactly how much I need to fit every 1,000 words to keep the pacing consistent. And I have a separate column for all of the character arcs and like B stories, so that I made sure those are paced well and don't get lost in kind of the main storyline. So I am very type A.
Oh
I
my
actually
gosh.
saw, Joy, I think in your most recent vlog, you said something about, you were like, yeah, I don't really, you said something about, I'm more of a discovery writer, like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not a huge outliner. And I just thought, oh, this is great. Joy and I are going to like balance each other out so well, you
It's gonna be
know?
so good.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like I struggle with kind of like giving into the story a little bit. Like when I hit a point where I know something needs to change, it takes a lot for me to finally bite the bullet and change it, you know, and I need to get better with that. You know, I need to let go of my outline a little more. So I was like, oh, this is great. We'll balance each other out.
That's so good. Yeah, honestly, I genuinely admire that so much. It could never be me. I feel like I've tried so hard to be structured, but it just never works for me. Like just my brain, I guess, just doesn't work that way. But like that's honestly so cool that you have everything laid out so nicely. I feel like comparatively, like my stuff is just a mess. I mean, I have things written down in places and I have like folders for things, but yeah, I don't have like whole tables. I don't have everything. Like I just have like a couple of bullet points maybe and vibes and lots of like notes everywhere.
That's all you need, really. That's all you need. Like, I know my method is way overkill.
I know, but I seriously though, there's always a part of me that's like, oh, I want to know what's going on, but my brain is chaos, so it just doesn't work.
No, yeah.
Different strokes for different folks. Like Hannah,
is
what
true.
do you feel? Are you like more of a architect or a gardener, like
Ooh.
plotter, pantser?
The fancy terms.
Like, do you have like, are you more of an outliner, you think, or somewhere in the middle? Because a lot of people claim to be planters, which is
Yeah.
right in the middle, you know.
I feel like that's what I'm trying to go for, is a planter.
Fair. I feel like some people too, for some people it changes with each book they do.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, I feel like Project Sol, which is like the other project that I've been kind of pivoting between the two. Project Phoenix was almost entirely like discovery written with like a few bullet points here and there. Project Sol, on the other hand, I have been trying to go in with a little bit more structure and intention, but it's still not perfectly laid out because I feel like I can't unlock this story unless I'm like I really know the characters intimately, and I feel like I can't know the characters intimately until I'm like in their brain and writing them, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Yeah. But okay, it looks like people have stuff they're working on. So
Okay.
Rin is working on their Little Mermaid retelling. So good. Beth, chapter 12, book 2, Project Sage. Oh, Margot and Horror Project. I love that. I love that Margot writes horror. It's so good. It's so cool. Beta reading fantasy. God help the author. I love it. Let's see. Saoirse just started line editing. Congratulations, Saoirse. That's really exciting. I can't wait for line editing. I don't know if anyone else likes line editing, but I love it so much. Like I haven't done it for a full book yet, but for like short stories and stuff I have. Ash is revising a flash fiction story. Hello, Jeannie. Oh my goodness. So happy to have you. Miley, I'll either work on finishing this fic chapter or keep organizing my room. Either way, you're welcome here. We're happy you're here. And then let's see. Emily is working on the train, writing on the train. That is so fun. Okay, let's see. Okay. Slog of drafting Project Vamps. And then, oh my goodness, Hope's current project is with beta readers, so working on the second book in the series to distract myself from the nervousness. Honestly, like distracting yourself is so real. I kind of did that with, not exactly with beta readers, but I'm not there yet. I'm excited to maybe be there someday, but oh my gosh, I can only imagine the nerves. But with Project Phoenix, I set it aside after I finished the first draft for like a month and a half, and I'm just now picking it up again. But yeah, I was working on Project Sol in between because like it was the only way I could get myself to stop thinking and dwelling on Project Phoenix and get distance from it. Because otherwise I would not have been able to stay away. Oh, Tia says, writing epic fantasies are not for the faint of heart. I feel it, Evelyn. It's rough, but it's amazing. Yes. And then Ari and Rin are the same with structure makes our creativity rebel. And Emily. Okay. Yeah, we're all together.
I'm on an island. Hopefully someone will come join my island in the chat. They'll say they're an outliner too. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. But Tia's on the structure train. She's on the structure side.
I have Tia on my side.
Yes.
I'm happy now.
And then J.K. Lambo, good to see you. They're revising chapter 7, The Pastry Chef Rivals to Lovers. Okay, Project Sugar and Spice. That's such a good, oh my gosh, that's such a good project name. That's brilliant. Okay, Christina says, I feel like I fully write an outline and then when I draft, everything changes. Yes. Okay, well, Stu, do I read during the sprints or write? I mean, what? There's some pressure there, but honestly, like whatever. What are you reading though? I guess that's the question. Truly, what are you reading? What are you working on? Because I feel like that will influence my answer, I guess. Oh, a landscaper, somewhere between an architect and a gardener. I like that term. That's actually really cool.
Margo has said this before. She has brought this one to the table before, actually. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool, actually. I love that. Okay. Here's the answer. Stu is reading Deep End. That's by, oh gosh, I'm blanking completely. Ali Hazelwood? Ali Hazelwood. Okay. I have never actually read Ali Hazelwood before.
Neither have I.
I've heard a lot of good things, but I have not read any of her books. So let me know which one I should read if you think I should read one. But anyway, okay, it looks like Emily had a question. So we can go ahead and answer that. And again, if anybody has questions, we can answer a few before we start our sprints here. But Emily's question was, what was the moment when you decided to pursue your current work in progress in earnest? Any thoughts? Anyone wants to answer first?
I mean,
okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Clearly, the stage fright is wearing off now.
Yes, you got it.
I actually have a little brother who's a senior in high school. We have like a big age gap, but one day I went to dinner with him and I had already started outlining my project, but I kind of was getting not lost in the outline, but I feel like if you're an outliner, it's easy to just like live there and keep changing things and not actually start writing, you know?
Yeah.
And I went to dinner with him and out of nowhere, he was like, oh, by the way, I wrote a book. Would you mind reading it for me? And he had done 2 drafts of a full fantasy. It was like 170,000 words.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And he didn't know that I was outlining a book. He had no clue. Neither of us had told each other.
Oh, that's so fun.
When he told me that, I was like, all right, if he, as a high schooler who's in like 5 AP classes and stuff, can sit and knock out a book, there is no excuse for me not to like, buckle down and try, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of gave me the swift kick in the butt to like take it seriously and try. That was my motivation for sure.
I love that. That's so fun, honestly. But also, like, there's nothing like a good old competition between siblings, kind of. I'm sure there's a little bit of that there. Like, oh, I have to do this.
Definitely.
Yeah. I love that. How about you, Hannah?
Okay. I don't know if I can pinpoint a specific moment because like I wrote the first chapter of my current work in progress last February, and then I took like 3 months away from this book, like after writing the first chapter. And then I guess I just had time again. Like school was over. I had free time. It was summer. I finally had the time to like invest in the project. And then after that point on, I finished it in like 3 months. So I had like a big gap between when I started. And I think, I don't know, I've tended to see that with my projects. Like I need a break for it to like mull over in my brain before I'm like ready. So I can't pinpoint a specific moment, but I kind of just had time, and so I wanted to do it, so I did it.
I love that. Yeah, let's see. So Project Phoenix is what we're talking about, since that's the one I'm going to be working on today. So Project Phoenix, it's interesting. So I used to write like so much, like, you know, starting from like a child through college, I was a creative writing major. So like literally that was like my thing, my focus. But then I graduated college like at the height of COVID back in 2020. That's when I graduated, which was a rough time to graduate and to like enter adulthood officially, I guess. I also that same year had my first child. So I had 2 kids and I was married and like just starting adulthood, starting life. So after I graduated from my creative writing major, I kind of just like stopped writing for like 5 years because I was trying to figure out life. And I also felt burnt out on writing. And I don't know, just I never felt like I had anything like worthy to write or any like fun ideas. So I always knew in the back of my mind, I was like, I want to write a book. And for a while I was thinking maybe I'll write children's books or something. But like, yeah, I just never had that fuel. At the same time, in those 5 years, I was reading a little bit, but I wasn't reading nearly as much as I used to in the past. So there was like, 5 years of wilderness, I guess, when it comes to like my reading and writing. But then I got a Kindle for Christmas one year. And I started reading again, like voraciously. And I'm the type of person, if I'm consuming something, I feel like I want to create it, you know? So if I'm like reading a lot of books, I feel like I'm like, okay, well, I want to write stories. Like I have stories in me. And I was like starting to crave writing again, which was really exciting to me. But I had no idea what I wanted to write. But honestly, so I read Fourth Wing. And as I was reading it, I was like, no joke, I was like, I think I can write something better than this. Which like Fourth Wing, you know, everyone has their opinions, but like as I was reading it, I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I think I'm capable of writing something better than this. Not necessarily that it would be more popular or anything like that, because I mean, Fourth Wing has like that popularity thing, it has like the pitch thing, you know, and what I'm writing is frankly nothing like Fourth Wing, but it was that kick in the butt of like, okay, if this type of stuff is getting published, then I wonder if maybe I have a chance, because I know that I am a pretty good writer. At least like I had like some semblance of confidence. I'm not, obviously there's like lots of scales, you know, I'm not claiming to be like a better writer than Rebecca Yarros, but just in general, I felt like, you know what, if this is getting published, maybe I have a chance, was sort of my thought. And not to say the Fourth Wing is like really bad or anything like that, but it was just that feeling, you know, where I was recognizing so many things that I would change about the book, I guess. So not me just trying to be like, I'm a worm. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm all that. But that was the thing that made me decide to like start writing again, basically.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It made it seem more like achievable and like approachable in a way.
Exactly.
Which I think inherently is a good thing.
Yes. I'm like blushing so hard. I'm like, I'm not trying to say I'm all that. That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on.
But
none of us are taking it that way, I don't think. I feel like that makes total sense, what you're saying.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, that's basically, and then from there, I mean, there was a whole journey to like coming up with the concept and the idea, and then it just ended up being a conglomeration of all the things that I love. So long story short, yes. But it looks like, okay, we have more friends, so I do want to take a moment to say hi to everyone. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm trying to star a question. Okay. Taylor's here. Taylor's here. Hello, Taylor. Oh my gosh. Currently on a train. Both you and Emily are on trains. Oh, so is Emily. You guys can be train. Yeah, Rin beat me to it. I'm behind on the chat. It's okay. Train twins. Love it. Choo-choo. Love it. And then Mick is here to say hello. Hi, Mick. Good to see you. And okay, thank you for the validation, Rin. Because
everyone knows.
Oh yes. And then Anna said the journey from college to motherhood to creative outlet. Same. Yep. it was a whole thing. And, you know, I feel like after becoming a mom, it took a while for me to feel like myself fully again. I just had like a season where I pretty much had to focus only on my kids, you know, when they're young and they're really reliant on you. But then, yeah, I kind of got back to it. And then also, yeah, my motivation most of the time is if they can do it, so can I. Honestly, Anna, I feel that. Yeah. And thank you, Emily, for the reassurance. I know I'm always like, okay. Let's see. Oh, the Narrow Curiosity Club. I have not seen you in streams before, so welcome. They said I'm a nonfiction author, and querying for that felt pretty easy because I just had to pitch the idea. I feel totally intimidated by having to write a full book before I can query for fiction. Oh, okay. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I honestly like don't know a whole lot about the nonfiction approach and stuff, but like I have heard that it's usually like you're pitching like a concept straight out. But yeah, fiction is a completely different game where you kind of do have to write that whole manuscript and commit to it, and it can be really terrifying. But also, yeah, I'm new. Well, welcome. I'm really glad that you're here. Okay, and then let's see. We had a question from Anna, and so maybe we can answer this question and then jump into writing sprints if that's good with you guys.
Yes.
But this is a really good question. Anna asked, character descriptions, how much, how little, what part of the descriptions is most important to you? Physical description, personality. Did anyone have thoughts initially?
I can go.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. Now my mind is blanking.
Totally get that. That happens to me all the time.
I'm guessing that you're guessing like when and like how to put them into your book. And I'd say that the best thing to do is probably use other characters to like your advantage. Like you can use your main character to describe characters around them, but when it comes to like describing the character themselves, I feel like even if it's in third person, it's good to use like comparisons to like drive it. Like for one of my scenes, like in the beginning of the book when you're first meeting the characters, it's like, oh, this character's hair is curlier than mine, or like unlike this about me, they are this way. And that way you're kind of like killing two birds with one stone. You're like the most efficient way to like describe both characters and also to like show differences, show similarities, and show things like that. And then also just like making sure that you do them in a very natural way, making sure it unfolds like with the action of a scene rather than just like putting it out there.
Yeah, like a whole list. Yeah,
exactly, because then the reader will feel more connected and actually apply what they look like in their brain, if that makes sense. And then what part of the description is most important to you? I'd say personality, like at the end of the day, because this kind of goes crazy, but like, you know, like with movies, like the character is going to look different. Obviously, I don't think my book's ever going to get a movie one day. Someone clip that if I ever get a movie deal. I'm just but like, it's fun for the reader to like imagine in some ways what the characters are going to look like. And that way everyone's kind of having a different idea of what the character is. But like, when it comes to like their personality, that's the most important thing, because that is what's going to like drive their character arc and like actually connect them to them, if that makes sense.
I like that a lot. Yeah. I think for me, oh man, I do wrestle with this sometimes, and oftentimes like when I'm just drafting the first draft, like I will just write down stream of consciousness, like the most basic stuff where I'm like, okay, you know, hair color, eye color, you know, etc. Just like all the general appearance, like what they're wearing, like the most boring like list ever, right? When I'm just drafting, so that then I have like an image in my mind. But when it comes to actually describing the character in prose form and more polished form, interestingly, I just finished reading a book where there are virtually like there's no character descriptions pretty much at all, other than like that they're like emaciated. It's from I who have never known men, like wrinkles and like emaciation and that sort of thing, but like it ties into the theme that there's like very few, like everyone just kind of like melds together. Like there's like a group of women that mainly meld together, and then we have our main character that's sort of like alienated, and she's also the narrator. She's alienated from the rest of them, and the way that the book is, she has never seen her face, so she doesn't know what she looks like. I don't, it's just, there's no like real character descriptions given other than personality. And even that to an extent is, you know, it's, I don't want to get into the whole plot. It's a very fascinating book. I who have never known men,
What is it?
I do recommend it. Huh?
You literally just said it. What is it called again?
Yeah, I who have never known men. I just finished it today, and it's like literary fiction, and like also speculative, though. It has like a speculative element to it. It's bizarre,
Nice
but
blend.
honestly, it was so good.
Nice blend.
It made me think a lot. Let's just put it that way. Not a satisfying plot or story, but I mean, okay, it was satisfying in like the themes, but like the plot, it's not like you shouldn't go into it.
No,
like,
yeah.
oh, I'm gonna have everything answered. It just, yeah, the way that you feel as a reader is part of the point, I think. But anyway, that's a whole tangent. Oh my goodness. Anyway, the way that I try to do it, I try to like think of, okay, what's something about this character that really stands out or like makes them unique? Like what is be it a personality quirk or a physical characteristic that is the most striking and that like a reader can latch onto to help the reader like remember who that character is. I don't necessarily go through like a full complete character description for every single character, but I do, especially for side characters, I try to find like one thing, you know, like, oh, this character has a limp, or this character, you know, they always make this kind of expression, like they're always like smug, or they're always smiling, or, you know, something like that, or like, you know, even describing the way that they move through the world, like they, you know, they bounce around. I don't know. They bounce, they I don't know, their body language, stuff like that. I try to take angles for the character description that are a little bit more unique than just being like, they have blue eyes, which like there's nothing wrong with saying that they have blue eyes or they have dark hair or whatever. But I do try to be intentional to be like, okay, what's like an extra step further that I can go in describing this character to make it a little bit more interesting, I guess. But again, like oftentimes I will just be like, yeah, they have, you know, a sandy haired guard, and like then there's like a little bit of a visual, but it's not anything crazy, you know. But I try to not, I guess the other thing in terms of too little or too much, like in the past I used to describe like every single character in detail, even if they were a pretty inconsequential character. But just, I guess, be mindful that if you describe every single character in detail, like the more detail you give to a character, the more the reader's going to be like, oh, we need to pay attention to this character. But then it winds up being a character that like doesn't matter at all and is just like, I don't know, a tavern wench. I don't know, that's the first thing that came to mind. And you're like describing them so much, like every single detail, and then it's like, oh, they said one line, you know. Yeah, I try to avoid that.
Never
but
to be
anyway,
seen again.
Yeah, that was a very long-winded answer. But anyway, Evelyn, do you have thoughts?
I'm sorry, I'm still recovering from tavern wench.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with everything both of you said, for sure. I think something Hannah mentioned like struck a chord with me, which is that I personally think there's value in leaving some of your character to the imagination so that the reader can project their vision onto that character. So like in that sense, I definitely value personality over physical description. That being said, in my outline, I have reference photos for every character. But I will say that's more for me so that if I do describe a character, I can remember like what their eye color is and their hair color and stuff. Like I'm not going to forget or get mixed up like as I go through the storyline. But yeah, I feel like I like to do minimal descriptions. Like I think eye color is probably the main physical thing that I try to remember, just because I feel like that comes up the most or is most likely to be brought up or utilized. And also something else both of you said, which is I like to let the other characters describe each other. Yeah, and I definitely think you need to like fold it in. It needs to not be like an info dump, right? Yes. Like I know books, I'll lose interest like that if there's like a whole paragraph about the male main character and how muscly he is and like rippling pectorals.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
whatever.
all right,
Not the
skip.
rippling. No.
You know,
Like, oh, no,
me and the
no.
tavern wench over here, you know, but like, I just, yeah, I will lose interest very quickly if someone fleshes them out too much. Like reading ACOTAR, I only read the
Oh.
first few books, but like, I feel like she describes a lot of the people in that main group in ACOTAR like pretty thoroughly, and I'm like, I just picture them however I want to picture each person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the descriptions may have been for the fan art.
Yeah, true. That's true. That's a good point.
Yes. But yeah, no, I completely get that. And I felt the same way when I was reading ACOTAR. I was like, this might be like almost a little bit too much. But okay, before we jump into sprints, I did have to point this out. As someone who plays D&D, the players always go for the random characters you thought they'd ignore. Yeah, that's very, very, very true. I'm actually about to start a new Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which I'm very excited for. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, we're starting on Sunday. And I love my character. But anyway, that's beside the point. Okay.
Gosh, it's so fun.
Let's start our writing sprints. We're 30 minutes in. I currently have 30 minutes up here, but does anyone have any like preference? Would they prefer longer or shorter? In the chat, let us know. Would you prefer 40 minutes? Would you prefer 25 minutes? Like, is 30 minutes the sweet spot? Like, just trying to, get an ideal. Okay, Rin says that 30 minutes is ideal. I mean, can't argue with that. What do you guys think?
I'm good with 30.
I am. I'm so good.
All right, sounds good. Oh, yes. Okay, Miley just said we're both playing D&D on Sunday, twins.
Yes.
D&D is so fun. Honestly, nothing like D&D on Sunday. But okay, well, let's start our sprint, shall we?
Let's go. Everyone's gonna do awesome.
Yes. All right. Good luck, everybody.
A million.
Hello. We are done. How did everyone do?
Do you guys ever feel like, man, I'm in the zone. I'm writing so many words. Like, I'm killing this. And then you check the word count and it's like 150 words.
Oh, that has definitely happened
it-
to me so many times.
It wasn't that bad, but I was like, oh, I feel so good about this. I got 230. But yeah,
That's really
way
good.
less than I thought as
That
I
is
was
good.
doing it. But how'd
That
you
is
guys
very
do?
good. Hannah?
It went very slow because
Yeah.
this chapter is so rough for me. I don't know what it is, but like I'm having to like give more world building because of the conversation that's unfolding, but I've already given this world building, so I feel like
Yeah.
maybe I need to delete it from earlier. It just feels like repetitive. It feels like I'm talking to the reader, which is not what I want at all.
Mhm.
But also like they need to talk about it because like this character doesn't know this stuff. Or like I don't know. It's a weird situation.
I totally get that. It's like trying to figure out how you want to convey the information in a way that like feels natural. Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't know. It's confusing, but like I got through 571 words of editing. I didn't write all of those. I only edited like a little bit of that, maybe like 200, and then I think I left the rest the way it was. But I think that what I did do helped because I needed to make my character have more like not wanting to be a part of this situation, like not as enthused. So yeah, I think that that was conveyed well, as opposed to the world building. But yeah. How did you do, Joy?
I got, to my surprise, I got 530 words. It was kind of the opposite experience where like I was writing and I was like, oh, this is like going really slow. And then I looked and I was like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh,
but so part of it though, I'm not like happy with all of the words, but I'm going to go back through and like polish them a bit more. I just need to like get some of the ideas down because this is the second draft, but I'm pretty much completely rewriting the first chapter. So I'm about like 2,500 words into the first chapter now, 3,000 words into the first chapter. And like, I'm starting to wrap it up now. So I'm almost done with chapter 1, but it's like a complete rewrite. So a lot of it is like fresh words that I'm going to have to like go back through and smooth over a bit. But I was trying to like resist that inclination to like snag on every word and make it perfect.
Yeah.
To get the ideas down. So it almost felt like a first draft rather than a second draft. But like I'm making so many changes that a lot of it is going to be like that. And I probably will make another pass through it to just make it a little bit nicer. But hey.
So you rewrote it all?
Yeah, pretty much. Like that entire first chapter is completely
That's really good for like just starting today.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. I've been working on. I went to a coffee shop for like 3 hours today. So yeah. But okay, our friends in the chat got some work done.
Yay!
So finally got 224. Where is this chapter's looking long? Honestly, all my chapters are so long. They're so long. I tend to have really long chapters. So I feel that Margot got 716 words on a plot breakthrough. Okay. That's a huge win. We love a plot breakthrough. Jasmine, also hi, Jasmine. Outlined this scene in 87 words. Very good. Very good. Emily has been making Canva posts about her work in progress for Instagram, which that's amazing. And I'm really excited to see them because you always have like the best aesthetic. Oh my gosh. I really need to do that. Like I need to make posts for my works in progress and stuff like that. Like I'm so bad at posting on multiple social platforms at once. Like
Instagram is so dead. It's so dead. There's nothing there.
Yeah, it's so hard to focus on. I don't know. I never know what to do either. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, posting stuff about my whips would be a good start. So maybe that's my kick in the butt to actually do it. But basically, kudos to you, Emily. Holly Akers, 973 words. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, Ren, 956 words, and they broke 55,000. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Okay. Beth got
Okay.
6 words. That's super solid. 301 of a very rough early outline. Just telling myself the story right now. Honestly, that's like the best way to do. I mean, everyone, there's no right way, but like I really like telling myself the story and kind of having that style of outline. Like I don't know, that takes a lot of the pressure off. Like if that makes sense. And then 190 words, rewritten words. I don't know if that counts. It totally counts. It all counts. Any words you can get, they all count in my book. Saoirse got another scene line edited. I love that. Stu ended up reading. Yay, Stu. That's good. This is good. I'm glad you made a choice. Hope, 407 words. Very good. Wow, y'all are killing it. You were so right, Miley. Everyone's totally killing it. This is so good. 350 words. Amazing. Which also, aren't you nearing the end of your draft, Ari? Am I wrong or am I right about that?
Really?
That's really exciting. Jeannie reread my current section to remind myself where I left off, then got 131 words written. Love that. I mean, honestly, I feel that. I feel like if it's been a while since I've written anything, I feel like I have to go back and reread so much to like restart my brain. Ash got my flash fiction beta read and feeling good about writing a few really short things. That's really nice. I love writing flash fiction. It's a little bit intimidating, but I want to do it again sometime. Anna helped my kiddo finish his last homework assignment for the year and started dinner. I love the mom energy. It's so good. Honestly, though, like the last homework assignment for the year, that's, I can't believe summer is starting. That's all I can say. And then let's see. Okay, time for Beth to cook dinner. She'll be back when it's done. Yes. Okay, for me, thinking and writing are different tasks. Right now I'm thinking on paper. I'll do the prose/writing once I've got the thinking done. I feel that. Yeah.
Top 2 thoughts.
Yeah. Sometimes I do a little bit of it. My process is chaotic. That's all I can say. And then Jeannie, yeah, I'm still working on my writing habit, and it's been about a week since I've written. I mean, I feel that like it takes time to figure out like what timing works for you, and sometimes life gets busy and it's hard to do it consistently. So I absolutely feel that. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have another little chat session. So if we have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Hannah, okay, I did say to Hannah before the stream started, I was like, Hannah, how do you come up with your brilliant questions? Because literally, if you've ever been on a stream where like Hannah has been in the chat, she literally always has the most incredible questions and insightful questions. So not to put pressure on you, since I'm like, she has amazing questions.
It's gonna be the worst question I've ever asked.
Oh my gosh. But I did tell her, I was like, hey, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. But oh, Amelia is here as well. So hello, Amelia. Good to see you. Okay. But okay, Hannah, you said you have a question.
I'm ready. Okay, yes. So I've seen a lot of videos on AuthorTube about hot takes and writing.
Ooh,
I wanted to ask you guys what your writing hot takes are. It can be like something you do that no one else does, or something somebody else does that you're like, maybe not that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I will need to think about this for a few minutes because I feel like I am a person that tends to not have hot takes. Like maybe I do have hot takes, but I'm just not aware of them. Like I'm like such like I avoid being controversial as much as possible. So I want to keep
this literally like the
I just love everybody. I know. I'm like, I don't want to make anyone upset. I just
earlier you're like, no, I'm
not feel loved. I know. Yeah, I know. I'm like, so I will have to think about that. So Evelyn or even Hannah, if you want to answer your own question first, I would appreciate it because that's going to take me a second.
I can go first.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like deep in thought, so I think Hannah, if you want to maybe kick this off.
I don't know if this is necessarily a hot take, but it's something that I don't do that I know a lot of people do. And it's that, at least in the projects I've worked on so far, I don't do brackets. Like, I don't ever like break it. I don't know what it is. I just like, I want it to be cohesive. And because I feel like my writing style is so stream of consciousness, like little threads from one thing to the next, I don't do writing brackets. I've never done writing brackets. I don't know if I will do writing brackets. Maybe, but I was surprised to hear like the amount of people that do writing brackets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my hot take. I don't do the writing brackets.
I used to never do the brackets, but I started doing it last year when I started getting back into writing. And I will say, for me personally, it actually helped me so much. But like, if you don't want to do, I mean, what anyone wants to do, I don't really care. I mean, honestly, sometimes I do feel a little bit self-conscious about how much I bracket. Like sometimes I over-rely on it. So like, honestly, I admire like your ability to make choices, because for me, I bracket because I can't commit to anything.
But then again, it's like depends on the project and the writer too, because like I could not bracket and then what I'm writing is like totally irrelevant. So like, but then if you bracket, like you can make what you're like you can actually have the skill set later on to know what you want to put there. So like I see the merit to both, and I'd be willing to try it because I feel like it'd be so helpful to like if you're getting into a scene and you feel the pressure, you can kind of just like still get writing done by moving forward.
That's true. Like, yeah. It's just kind of like different approaches where it's like, do you just like kind of skip it and have like a placeholder and move on, or like summarize, or do you just like kind of brain dump and then move on? Yeah. And honestly, if anyone in the chat has a writing hot take, please do share.
Tell us.
It's very fun. Yes. Okay, Evelyn, I still don't have mine. So do you have yours?
I mean, the only one I can think of is like a very hot take, and I don't know. It's like I don't know if it's too dicey, but I mean, I could throw it out there, I guess. But
I will not judge you.
I'm about to have a lot of people really not like me, but I'm just gonna throw it out. It's really not that bad, but I don't think. Okay, hold on. I gotta like brace myself.
Deep breaths.
I think everyone should self-publish. I think traditional publishing is really necessary, and not in favor of the author. I've done a fairly deep dive into like the business side of things, and I just feel, especially with all the options that are out there today, like crowdfunding platforms and stuff, I just think there's never been a better time to self-publish. And I think a lot of authors get intimidated by the business side of it, understandably. Right? Like they don't want to delve into it too much, and they would rather like trust their work, like hand it over to someone that claims to like know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know that they really know what they're doing as much as they say they know what they're doing. I think it hasn't advanced with the times the way it should have. And I think it's to the disadvantage, especially of like newer authors. I think people who are at the top of the ladder get taken care of, and I think people that are newer get kind of screwed over. And I think you'd be better off self-publishing. So that's like a big hot take.
The steaming hot take.
Yeah, really love it.
Yeah, I'm very like curious about it. I've even looked into like, you know how people with Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, they have exclusivity kind of clauses where you can only publish your ebook with them. I've even looked into like, okay, if I were to get an LLC and say that I'm a publisher, right? Because you pay taxes on your LLC, but like if I had an LLC, could I get around that exclusivity clause? Because supposedly with publishers, they offer them a different deal, but I don't know if it's just bigger publishers or smaller publishing houses would get that deal also. But like, I'm very intrigued by that, right? Like how you can work the system as a new author, because I don't think that it's in your favor to try and traditionally publish, in my opinion. That's just that is a very, very hot take.
So you plan on self-publishing? Most definitely.
Yeah, I would not. Never in a million years would I. And look, if that's what you want to do, because I think it's totally fair. Like Brandon Sanderson had this one author on his podcast one time, and they were discussing this. And I forget his name now. That's going to drive me nuts. But he does more like children's books, or like teen, more like young adults books. And he was like, listen, I like to write, and that's it. I don't want the stress. I don't want to have to like market my own stuff. And I totally think that's valid, so to each their own. But I just think, especially if you really believe in what you've written, I think it's more to your benefit to do the deep dive and try and self-publish and hustle and maintain like complete and total control over your product than it is to like go through traditional publishing.
Yeah.
But that is a very hot take. So
have you
I love it though.
Have you said what you're gonna do, Joy? Are you going for traditional?
I am still undecided, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, I'm very open to self-publishing, but also I think part of me wants to just try querying just kind of for the experience, and like if something happens, great, but if not, like I don't know. Like I honestly don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I just want to like tell my stories and write them and make them good. And a lot of it is for myself, but also like obviously I do want it to be read. And like if I could make a living from my writing, like that would be the dream, just because then I can hopefully dedicate more time and energy to writing, because then it's like more justified, if that makes sense. But also like if I never make any like a cent from my stories, like I don't know, part of me is just like I just want them to exist, you know, like that's sort of how I feel. So I don't know. I think, I don't know. I really don't know.
That's fair.
I suspect, so I'm intending hopefully to finish Project Phoenix first. I do estimate that the word count might be closer to like 150,000 words. And they say that like trying to query a fantasy over 120K for a debut author is like not going to happen, pretty much. Like that's what I've heard. So I might like try a couple, but like really expect nothing. If I do actually go out and try to like query and traditionally publish a book, I think the first one that stands a chance is probably Project Saw, because I think it has like a stronger pitch. And it is going to be like a more concise story. I'm estimating it's going to be like a little bit more compact and shorter, like closer to that 120K mark, rather than, you know, Project Phoenix is a little bit big. Not like the biggest by far, but like for a debut author, then yeah. So like self-publishing for Project Phoenix might be my best bet, or maybe traditionally publishing Project Saw first and then being like, hey, but I also have like this if you want it, you know. So I don't know. Or I could be hybrid. Honestly, I don't like committing to things. So like hybrid might be the way to go. But obviously that's assuming like if I can't get an agent, if I can't traditionally publish, I'm very open to trying to do the self-publishing route as well. But part of me just wants to try traditional publishing just to see what happens, just because I'm curious, you know. I'm like, you never know what could happen. Like you could land a 6-figure deal and that would be great. And like, you could be one of the lucky ones, even if like the chances are really slim. So I don't know, but I'm also just very open to self-publishing in general. So like, yeah.
I know some people go in between and they like set up their own like publishing house. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, where like they make their own. It's small, obviously, and usually it's just their books, unless they end up wanting to publish in other people's. But like they make their own small publishing house, and it's like a hybrid between the two, if that makes sense. I don't know. I haven't done a big deep dive though, so.
See, I think that's a good way to circumvent a lot of the issues of by having your own publishing house. And another thing I've heard recommended is for newer authors, if you feel like you have to give in to the Kindle Unlimited monster because they kind of have a monopoly right now on the industry, and you know you're just trying to break in and have access to that audience, you can do that, but then maybe release like a hardcover on your own or a special edition later, that sort of thing.
That's true.
So I feel like that's a very valid option too. But yeah, I feel like that was a really controversial hot take for me to throw.
No, but it was really good and thoughtful. I like that a lot.
Of people in the chat are like, actually, I agree. So
yes, a lot of people are.
I like can't keep up with the chat. I've been trying to like glance over here and there.
I know, but like people are like, they have a lot of thoughts.
yeah. I figured it would probably be controversial, but I just think like, especially a lot of newer authors, you're so excited to finish the book, right? And you're like, oh, I got a traditional, like I got trad pub, you know, and everything. But then I feel like, especially younger authors, I guess with age, I've just learned some hard lessons, you know, and it's like, I think no one is going to advocate for you more than you. And like, as much as it sucks, it's going to be to your advantage to like really make people articulate what you're agreeing to thoroughly before you agree to it. In my opinion, that's just my hot take.
Yes. So. Yeah. And like, I do feel like, the loss of control, when you traditionally publish, like, I don't know, it's a trade-off, it can be really scary if like, even if your book gets sold, like something could go wrong and then it doesn't get published anyways. Like, I don't know, like, but at least with self-publishing, that there's a guarantee that it's out there. So like, I do take comfort in that. I don't know. It's so scary either way, but, okay. I guess that's my turn for a controversial hot take, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think that this is fully, I fear it's not going to be articulated very well. So please no one get offended. But this is just like the first thing that came to mind. And again, like I'm not here to like gatekeep who can write or not write. Like I want people to be writing and I want people to be telling stories. So like that's not, I do want to preface it with that. But I think I have met a lot of people and like seen a lot of people like on Reddit in passing and stuff that they want to write and they have stories to tell, but like what they actually want to do is not actually write, if that makes sense. It's like writing is like the most accessible medium for people to tell the stories that are in their head, but they don't actually want to sit down and write, if that makes sense. Like I think there are a lot of people that would much rather like make movies or like have like a whole show that is animated, just because like the way that they want to tell their story is more in that direction. And or maybe they would rather do, I don't know, a play, just any sort of like other medium. If that, I don't know if I'm explaining myself well, but like I think there are more storytellers in our society than there are writers, if that makes sense. But a lot of people try their hand at writing because they don't have like a whole studio behind them to like make this idea that they have. And so like they're clinging to this idea and they're like, I want this idea to like come to fruition. So then they sit down and try to write it, but then they like they actually hate writing. So I think that's why like a lot of people maybe start writing books but don't finish them, is because they had this idea that they were excited about, but they don't actually love writing. They just liked the idea and wanted it to exist. And writing was like the most accessible way they could try to do it. And like maybe this person like doesn't even read books and they don't even like the medium of books, but it was like the way that they could get their idea out there. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. 100%.
So I do think that there are a lot of people out there like that. And again, like I'm not going to gatekeep writing. Like I want there to be more writers, but I have just seen like a lot of people, the way that they talk about writing or the way that they, talk about the fact that they're writing a book, but they don't actually write the book. I mean, it's relatable, but also, I don't know. I think that there are a lot of people that just don't actually like writing.
I wish that it was more accessible, like for them to
I agree.
In other ways.
Yeah, because I love that there are people that have stories in them.
Yeah.
But I do think there are a lot of people that, if you don't like writing or reading, like if you don't like that medium, then like it makes sense that it would be a struggle, and my heart goes out to them. I do wish it were more accessible, but yeah, it's tough. So I guess that's my hot take, is that there are a lot of people that say they want to be writers, but they actually don't want to be writers. They want their stories to be out there in a different medium, maybe. Yeah.
It's just so sad. That's true though.
It's really depressing. But okay, I guess
Love it.
Let's see. Let me try to catch up on the chat a little bit. I do think there was a question that came in, so maybe we can answer that question.
Okie-dokie.
And then jump into more writing sprints, because I'm down to keep on writing, to be honest. But it looks like a lot of people agreed with your hot take, Evelyn. Yeah. Like, oh, that is a hot take. And like, listen, this hot take has good points, and I see how you got here. Am I going to self-pub being a completely broke person? No, LOL. I mean, that's relatable too. I mean, it is, I'm sure that there's ways that you can go about self-publishing where it's like less expensive, but it is hard. Sometimes out there. It's hard to be a writer and try to get your work published. It
is. But like genuinely, the biggest thing I hear is like, do not sell your special edition rights to anybody, even if you tab. Do not. Like, just throw that out there. There's a lot of good info online.
Yeah, that's true.
Just don't accept a deal just because you have nothing else. Make sure it's a good deal.
Yeah. That is true. And I guess that's where agents can be nice too, because they can like go to
Yes.
bat for you, but you have to make sure you have a good agent.
Yeah.
But this is interesting. My nonfiction book is traditionally published coming out in September, which congratulations, that's amazing. The publisher is small and has been amazingly supportive. But I don't know much about fiction. I mean, yeah, I don't know much about nonfiction. To be honest, like I've done research on traditional publishing and like I kind of vaguely know my way around it, but I've never actually done it. So like I can't say I know. Yeah. And Ren had to go, but querying is one of the experiences of my life. Yeah. Jasmine, I'm honestly just out here writing so I can gain that writing stamina. Honestly, that's true. Yeah, like I don't want to jump the gun and self-publish the first or second book I write. That's completely fair. I kind of have that hesitation as well, where I'm like, I don't know. Is this? I guess if I go through like a ton of beta readers and stuff, and I feel fairly confident in the fact that like it's a good book, even if it's, you know, your first or second book can be good. It's not impossible, but also like realistically speaking, didn't like Brandon Sanderson write like 13 books or something before?
Yeah, he had 13,
yeah.
13 in the pipeline before he
so like also writing books takes practice, and it's okay if it's not the book, the first one. And then let's see. Oh, I only had a good take. I think as someone who can barely spare the spoons to write because of how many spoons my chronic pain takes up, real. The idea of having to manage a business on top of my creativity is impossible. But I do agree with what Evelyn said in terms of the industry not moving with the times or being unfriendly to vulnerable authors.
Yeah, that's really what true. I'm talking about, right? Is like the people that are so excited about their story that they take the first thing handed to them and are grateful for whatever. And it's like your story is worth something and like you matter, you know, like don't let someone just push you around. You know?
Oh, Tommy. Like when you tell someone you're a writer and they respond with, I have this very cool idea you should write, and you're like, nice. That is true. I feel like people maybe like overestimate the value of ideas. I think Brandon Sanderson is also a person that has talked about this, where it's like idea really like you can, if you're a good writer, you can make any idea work theoretically. I mean, a good pitch goes a long way in some respects, but like it's the way that you execute it that really matters. And also I think most writers have more than enough ideas. Like, you know,
literally, if someone tells me an idea, I'm just like, yeah, you should write that.
That's good. I think that's how you should respond. Like,
yes, that is true.
Also, I can't take it from you. That feels weird.
Yeah, it does feel weird to be like, oh yeah, I'll write your idea. Like ideas are so intimate
like,
and personal, and they're right. Like there are so many like ingredients that go into it too. It's like just taking a random idea. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Oh, that's so real. Oh yeah, ideas are cheap. Brandon Sanderson. Yes, I knew it. Good. Okay, I'm glad that was right. But okay, very cool, very cool. Okay, there was a question I do want to answer.
Okay,
I started, I think, and then we can jump into our next sprint. Jeannie asked, "What do you all do?" Wait, hang on. Okay, sorry, my brain had to like reconfigure. Okay, what do you all do when you wait too long to start writing something and your passion for the project wanes? Do you have a method you use to get the excitement back? So waiting too long, like have you guys experienced that? I can start with that. And then would you have any ideas?
I as a caveat to this, as a question, do you mean like have you already started writing the book or have you not started it? And is it just an idea?
I guess that's true.
Those are very different, I feel like.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, I guess we could like try to approach it either way.
Yeah, true.
Because I don't know if she is still here, but
y'all want to go?
I know, I'm thinking about it. I guess since it's like to start writing, I'm assuming it's like an idea that was existing, but you haven't really started writing it yet, because it's like when you wait too long to start writing something. That's my guess. So, I mean, I guess first of all, if my excitement wanes for a project or an idea, that might be a sign to not write it. Because I feel like the ideas that like grip you the most and like stay with you are probably the ideas that you're going to then have like the endurance and perseverance to push through and actually finish it. Because it's like, if you lose interest before you even start writing, I mean, if you're like in the thick of writing it, I feel like it's only going to get harder, you know? And I mean, sometimes writing it can get you more excited, like as you get to know your characters and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, Mario did have a good point. Like, I love making a mood board and listening to playlists to get back into that headspace. So like, I think that's also totally valid and is a good method, especially if you already have started writing it, but then you like stepped back for a while and you're trying to get back into it more excited. Because like sometimes there is a season like during the first draft or even like in the middle of other drafts, I'm sure, where like you fall out of love with your project in the midst of it because maybe it's not shaping out to be the thing that you want it to be. So you kind of have to like remind yourself why you loved it in the first place. I think that does happen. But yeah, if it's something that you haven't even started writing and it's like not gripping you anymore, I mean, then there's like not really as much stake in the project. And if you have a different idea that's more exciting to you, I don't think there's anything wrong with pursuing something different. I don't know if anyone has any other thoughts.
I mean, I agree a lot with what you were saying. No, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're all good. You're all good.
I think I agree with Joy on this one because like as someone who took like a 3-month break before going back to their book and then like writing it pretty fast, I feel like there's merit to like having that space and like utilizing that space to like kind of let your brain mull over the idea. Like so much of writing is not just you on your laptop. So much of it is just you thinking about your story throughout the day. And then also, like, if you're starting to lose your passion for it, like Joy said, I feel like that's kind of a sign that it's not the project for you. Because writing takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy. And you need to be passionate about what you're doing. And of course, I understand like frustration or like feeling burnt out. Like in those occasions, like take a break and whatever and do what you need to do. But even in that, there still should be like some passion there and like an urge and a desire to like get back into that story and to like make the story what it is. I think what we were saying earlier with like Brandon Sanderson, like ideas are cheap. There are like so many ideas you can have. Like I've had a lot of novel ideas over the past year, but like a lot of them just haven't stood out to me. Like they haven't been things that I really want to pursue. But then like sometimes I believe I finally got an idea like a month ago where I was like, I actually want to commit to this one, like after this project is over. So like figuring out which ones you want to commit to and then committing to those and having discipline, but then feeling okay with putting stuff to the side. That doesn't mean you can't write it down. That doesn't mean that you can't like brainstorm a little bit to like try to get back into it, to like see if you can like find a new idea or like a new way you can take a spin on that idea. But I feel like if you're going to commit so much time to something, you need to be passionate about it. I mean, like that is what writing is all about. It is about being passionate about your work and getting that work out to there and having your story told. So yeah, that's all I have to say. A lot.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah. Very good. I like it. I don't know, Evelyn, did you have any thoughts that you wanted to share? I mean, you don't have to, but.
I mean, I agree a lot with what you both are saying. I feel like, writing is hard work. And it's not going to happen if you don't have like a real passion for what you're doing. Yeah. I mean, I know I think about my story all the time. Like I walk on my walking pad and I have playlists I play and I'm like constantly daydreaming, like, or if I'm doing this, I'm thinking like, okay, what could I do to change this like ending of this scene to make it even more interesting or something, like, I mean, I will say, when I have hit points, like when I was doing my outline/zero draft, there were points where I would hit walls and be like, God, I just feel like I cannot get around this one character or something, And in those moments, I actually go, like, I feel like we're having a total fan, like Brandon Sanderson, like fan club, right now. But I know, his lectures on YouTube.
Me too. I listen to all of them.
They're incredible, and so is that like podcast on YouTube. That's like, Intentionally Blank, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I've seen that pop up. Mm-hmm.
Him and Dan. And for the longest time, I was like, I don't know what the hell this is. Like, I'm not watching this. They have some really good episodes where they talk about like making a compelling villain and different things, and they go through like pop culture villains from popular movies and books and stuff.
Ooh.
I mean, I think consuming stuff like that from people who have been successful in the field can be really motivating, and it can also trigger something in your brain to make you like maybe think about like view something differently in your writing, and then it can cause a shift, which can like unblock that obstacle, like remove that obstacle, and then you can feel motivation freshly again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that needs to be there deep inside you. You need to like want to do this, to sit down and write 100,000 words or whatever. It's not gonna. It's kind of like what Joy was saying earlier, where there's a lot of people that love the idea of writing a book. They think like, oh, that's so cute, and you watch AuthorTube and people have all these really great videos, and they make it look really easy because they're like drinking really cute coffees while sitting and cranking out 10,000 words in a matter of 10 minutes. And then you sit and try to do it, and you're like, oh my God, these people are insane. How are they doing this? Like, hopefully the people, like when I started, I was like, I'm going to post once a week. Like, the people that do that, like, it's incredible, Like, I was watching y'all's vlogs the other night, and I was like, these ladies are doing 45-minute vlogs. It's a struggle for me to do a 20-minute vlog. Like, it is like every time I do a 20-minute vlog.
Oh, I always yap way too much.
I love it. I feel like it's much more organic and relatable. Like, I love it. But yeah, I just feel like it's freaking work. And if you don't really, really want to do it, you're gonna give up. I think the statistics say it's like less than 1% of people in the world actually finish a book, or less than 2%, and then less than 1% publish. I don't know. It's a really small margin. So.
Yeah, and like, that statistic like makes something in me, like, I don't know. I'm very stubborn, actually. So like, it's like a challenge. I don't know. I'm like secretly very competitive.
Wow.
Like I'm the person that like, if you look at me, I'm like, oh yeah, but I'm like secretly, I'm like, I want to like do this. I want to do it, and if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do my best, and I'm gonna be the person that finishes the book. Even if like to me, I'm like, oh, if I'm published or not, whatever, it's fine. But I'm gonna finish the book. Like whatever's in my control, I'm gonna do my gosh darn hardest.
That's no. That statistic stuck out even more to me like after I'd finished a book, because like it's like some people finish it but they don't publish it, because like editing, shut up, that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Like now I know why people finish but they never publish, because editing is hard. But so I believe they did respond, and they did say, I keep thinking about the idea though, so a part of me thinks I should continue with it. So I think that some people think that passion has to be like really loud, but like it sounds like you're still passionate, like even if it's just in the back of your mind. And also the fact that you said like you feel like you've waited too long, I don't think it's ever too long. Like some ideas just need more time, like in the back of your head, to like figure it out. So I think you got it. I think you're good.
Yes, yeah, that's so true. And okay, Erin, I said sometimes you can come up with ideas, but they're beyond your current ability, scope, or skill to tell them you want to. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I have some ideas that are really overwhelming, and I know that I'm like not ready to write them, but like, yeah. And I think, hang on, Dami said something that I saw. Okay, so it sounds like this is kind of like if you do want to try to rekindle your like fascination with the idea. Dami said, I like consuming media with a similar theme or genre, but a different type of media. So movies or TV, something about consuming a different type of media gets me hyped for how to translate that feeling into words, which is so real. And music too is another thing that like sometimes the right kind of music just gets me right into the headspace. So that's wonderful. And Allie's here. Hi. Okay, good to see you. She just wanted to drop in and say hi. Thank you.
I love you.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So, and it looks like Jasmine was headed out, so she might already be gone, but bye, Jasmine. Okay. Well, are we ready to do like one last writing sprint, 30 minutes again? Does that sound good?
Yes.
Because I'm feeling ready. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like,
ready.
I kind of want to write again.
I feel very like inspired after that last little gossip
I
session.
know. Okay, that
that
was so good. I feel like we had some fun takes. Thank you, Hannah, for the question. And also thank you to Jeannie for the question as well. So that was good. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right, here, let me pull it up. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, 30 minutes good again. Was that a good amount of time? Confirm? Yes, no, maybe so. Thumbs up. All right. Oh, Anna's going to dinner. Bye, Anna. Okay.
Fireworks.
Okay. Oh.
You got
I didn't even realize that happened. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Okay, there we go. My webcam was blocking the tab to focus, and I was like, where is it? Okay. All right, let's start. Good luck, everybody. Hello. How did everyone do?
Hang
Hang on, I actually don't know how many words I got. I have to calculate that really fast.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. For me, it was a rough start. I kept hitting a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like with editing, it's really difficult for me to get in the headspace of my characters and to feel in the scene.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. It's just more difficult for me because I'm not in the same place I was when I was writing it. So, I was struggling very much so. But then I was like, okay, we need to get in the zone. And so I listened to like the song that is like in the backtrack of my mind when I'm writing
Love
the project, and that helped.
That's good.
And then I read through it and I was like, you know what? This isn't as bad as I thought. Didn't get a lot done, but it wasn't as bad as I thought.
That is really nice when that
So
happens.
tricky.
Yeah.
So tricky.
Yeah. How about you, Evelyn?
I got 268, which
Nice.
is fine with me. I'm definitely a slower writer, so any progress is good progress. But
Absolutely.
I had a similar, like, I was hitting a wall at the beginning. I don't know if you guys could tell, but like, I had my hand up like this, and I was like, oh my God. After I sat here for like 5 minutes, I was like, they're gonna know you're not writing because people can see you have a hand up, you know. But I really got stuck. I was debating if I wanted to pivot. And change like the character that was experiencing the particular scene, and then I went back to my original plan. I was overthinking it clearly, but yeah, I hit a wall too, Nana.
I'm glad you figured it out.
Thank you. Thank you. How about you, Joy?
I got 344 words, but some of it, there's a caveat there. Some of it, okay, so this is what happened. I finished the chapter that I have been like writing, kind of like I it wasn't exactly how I wanted to conclude, but I was like, okay, this is kind of, I think, where I want it to end. Maybe I'll get back to it. So then I like started the next chapter, but like I pulled like some things from the previous draft, so like it's kind of in the word count, but like just a couple of paragraphs. But then I started changing and tweaking some things. But then I had an idea for the previous chapter. So then I jumped back to the previous chapter and like added a few lines. And then I was like, you know what? I want to smooth this over. Like there's a few things that like I don't like, and I'm just going to spend some time kind of tweaking and editing a little bit. So like it was a little bit all over the place for like, yeah, lots of little writing here and there. And then I kind of added up to 344. But some of it was taken from the first draft because it was like, okay, that's good enough to bring in. So yeah, but it was good. I was happy with that. Let's see what the chat got. Jeannie got 285 words. Very good. 260 words. Lovely. Oh my gosh. Holly, 977 words. Almost 2,000 for the night. That's incredible. Margot got super distracted, so only got 180. Listen, I feel that. There's only like so much creative energy you can dedicate in this night, I feel. So, yeah. Ian... I've only done 4 pages of beta reading this entire stream. I'm the most brutal editor in existence. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's probably a good thing. I mean, it's good to have a lot of feedback, I would imagine, but also remind me of that, Ian, if I ever ask for you to beta read something, because I might be very afraid. Okay. Oh, Jeannie, get in the zone, auto zone. Love it. Love it. Emily only got 175 words. Okay, never say only. Okay, I might, never say only because all the words are good. But I think I actually like all of them. This never happens. Okay, actually, let's just round of applause. That's so good. There's nothing quite like writing something and then being like, actually, that was fire. Actually, I almost said I ate, but then I'm like, that felt unnatural. I'm not Gen Z enough.
Slay. I ate with that.
Yeah, I slayed. I fear. I'm a cusper, you see. I'm between Gen Z and millennial. So I always feel slightly uncomfortable when I use Gen Z slang.
Yeah.
Just slightly, because I'm like, I'm almost there, but also like it feels unnatural. So that's fine. Stu did a bit of writing and took some notes on things I want to change for the next draft. That is very good. And then Ian is brutal, but he has valid points. I love it. Okay. Well, I mean, with that, we've been streaming for over 2 hours now, so I think it might be time to say farewell. So first of all, thank you to everyone who joined us, and thank you, Hannah and Evelyn, so much for just joining me on the stream. Like this was so fun.
Thank you for hosting.
Also, yes,
definitely.
And oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Absolutely. I love streaming. It's honestly really, really fun to like spend time with people and then also be productive and, kind of engage with the writing community that we have here. So that's very good. Also, Christina, I'm so glad we could help you. Absolutely, Emily. But okay, with that, Hannah, do you want to kind of start us off with just being like, this is where people can find you and all that stuff? And then Evelyn, you can also share.
I am HGF Writes on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. But if you want the majority of my content, it's going to be on YouTube because I don't post a lot of short form content anymore.
Feel that?
Hannah Grace Fletcher. If you can't find me through that way, my full government name, you know, find me. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Hope to see you guys again.
Yeah, definitely. And you can find me on YouTube too. I'm at Evelyn Black 394. I also have like an Instagram and stuff, but it is bare. So I would just stick to the YouTube. But if you want to find everything else, I think I have like a bio site or like a link tree on my YouTube too. But this honestly was so much fun. I just have to say I was absolutely terrified coming in. Like I was.
You did great. You had the best hot take.
Yes,
I feel like
you came through.
I feel like it really helped having specifically like Joy and Hannah like in here. I feel like your all's energy is so contagious and it just put me at ease really quickly. So genuinely, thank you from the bottom of my heart to you guys for letting me join.
Absolutely, anytime. Thank you. Yeah, and then you're on my channel right now. So if you don't know who I am,
click below.
All the stuff is like right there. Yeah.
Like the video.
Yeah, honestly, like the video. You'll save a life. Maybe. No. Okay, that's a little dramatic. But okay. Thank you all so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Oh, okay. That's really sweet. Okay. Well, love you all. Happy writing. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. End stream.